I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes. When your terror comes like a storm and your destruction comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but they will not find me. This is Proverbs, the book of wisdom, chapter 26 to 28. This is God, the reckless love God that Americans say could never be the author of the prophecies that I've been reading to them and speaking to them by the Spirit of God for the last 6 years. They say that God could never judge. They say that God can never hate the sinner. They say that God loves America and God would never say such harsh, cruel, and wicked words against America. And yet in God's own book that existed before any of us living today was born, he says, I'm going to laugh when you run into calamity. Calamity is worse than having a problem. Calamity is worse than having an issue. Calamity is terrible. Like when you've worked for a certain number of years to get that nursing license, and then you show up on final exam day and they tell you, if you don't produce this and that, you're not going to write the exam. And if you forfeit today's exam, you will not be given a second opportunity to write, and you are facing the very horrible reality that you might not become an RN simply because you forgot your billfold and in it was your ID, and you've been coming to the same school for 4 years, 5 years. They know your face, but due to protocol and just maybe having a horrible person presiding over the exam, you are facing the terrible, terrifying reality that your 5 to 6 years of work might be wasted on a whim. That's a calamity. Your heart will be beating, you'll be sweating, you undoubtedly, male or female, will be close to tears or might even succumb to tears, and yet you will meet an iron face telling you, we start in 15 minutes. See you in there, I hope. And they shut the doors in your face. Imagine a situation like that, and someone walks along, sees you so distraught, and asks you what's wrong, and you tell them, and then he begins to chuckle and laugh until he bends over and he's holding his belly. This is a Bible verse, and God has chosen today to bring out that Bible verse to the people who have constantly been mocking his word, step for 6 years. I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when you come into terror. When your terror comes upon you like a storm. Can you see the reality? Can you see the analogy? Like a storm. I'm going to talk of storms. I'm going to talk of rain and floods. He says, like a storm. We all know that storms just blow in suddenly. God says when the trouble blows in suddenly, when you have another Texas, when you have another North Carolina, when you have another this, that's the time that I'm going to say, where's the rescue services? Have you seen the fulfillment of the Texas prophecy where I said that God showed me that they would be very slow to give assistance to both Florida and Texas because the federal government hates those two states? The lady who's in charge of the help, she waited the whole weekend to send help. They're also not mentioning that Mexico came to help. Mexico came to help America. Remember the dirty people that you're chasing in the street with ICE right now? The people that build the wall, they brought assistance while the federal government was having fun over the 4th of July weekend and delayed by 3 days. The New York Times also publishing a prophecy fulfillment today that the majority of calls for help went unanswered. FEMA did not pick up the calls of the majority, the thousands and thousands of calls that were flooding in. 80%. Research has shown in just a few days, because America's looking for accountability. America needs to hold someone accountable so that the people in America don't have to admit, both on the Republican and the Democrat side, that actually this is a punishment for sin. Someone needs to be held accountable because we are still in the mindset of the arm of the flesh did this. We need someone to hang on the gallows. But while you are looking at that, I'm looking at the prophecy fulfillment